When you hear the word idol, what do you picture? Is it a golden calf, a stone or a wooden statue, something that's off in a temple somewhere? Because honestly, I think about those same things. And because of that, this concept feels kind of irrelevant to me today. I mean, a while ago, God told the Israelites not to bow down to statues in worship. And boom, we did it. No statues, got it. Moving on. But when we think about it, the very first commandment God gave in the book of Exodus was no other gods before him. That's the first one, before murder, before stealing, before all of these things. God says no other gods before him. Now, either that stopped being relevant to a lot of cultures a long time ago, or we're kind of misreading what that means. And honestly, I think it's the second one. And maybe by the end of this video, you'll start to see that as well. Sound good? Get into it. So let's start right there. Exodus 20, where God is giving the commandments to Moses. And the first thing that he says is this: "You must not have any other God but me. You must not make for yourself an idol of any kind or an image of anything in the heavens or on earth or in the sea. You must not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God who will not tolerate your affection for any other god." Now, I want to sit here for a second because I think it's really easy to blow past this too quickly. Don't think the commandments are random. It's not just a list of rules that are in no particular order. The fact that having no other gods before him is number one, I think, is making a theological statement about the fact that everything else is kind of related to this. The fact that every other sin downstream has an idol upstream. You don't covet your neighbor's house without first having something that you're elevating above your own contentment. You don't lie, cheat, or steal before having a competing loyalty that's in the place of something that you already have. Every broken commandment traces back to something that you are elevating up and putting in the place of God. I don't think God put this first because it's the most dramatic. I think God put this first because it is the most foundational. If we get this wrong, everything else tends to follow. So the question isn't whether or not idolatry is relevant to you today in life. It's more, what does it mean for you today? Because I promise you, it's probably not about statues. So I want to look at a passage in Isaiah 44 here, where he's talking about idolatry and people who make idols. And I think this passage is going to help us understand why it can be hard sometimes to see idols in our own lives. The scene that Isaiah is describing is a man who goes out and cuts down a tree. He takes half of it, throws it in the fire, warms himself, cooks his food, and then he takes the other half and he carves it into a statue, sits it there and worships it and says, "Save me, for you are my God." Reading that today, I think our first instinct can be, how insane is that? I mean, this guy just burned a tree to ashes and now he's worshiping it as a god. But the tree provided him something good, didn't it? It gave him warmth, it gave him food, and then he worshipped it. Now, today we mine metals from the earth, we make plastics out of petroleum, we make other complex products and turn them into these phones, these screens that we look at for hours and hours a day. And they provide us something good. They can provide us entertainment, communication with people that are far away. But when we give too much value to these phones, the same thing happens. It looks like we're worshiping a tree. Now let's look at what Isaiah is actually saying here, because he's not saying that the person is stupid. He's saying that the person literally cannot see what's happening to save themselves. I mean, in verse 20, he says that a deluded heart has led them astray, and they cannot save themselves. The person is holding a lie, but they just can't see it. This is the mechanism that makes idolatry so dangerous. It doesn't really feel like idolatry. It feels like reasonable prioritization. I mean, we watch a lot of TV because it relaxes us after a long day. We scroll through Instagram because the memes make us laugh and it's funny. We eat food and we may eat more than we need because we need food to survive, right? Paul picks up this idea in Romans chapter 1, verses 21 to 25, where he talks about how the default human posture is not really outright rebellion against God, but it's exchange. We take the real God, the real thing, and we substitute in something that we feel like we can manage, something that we can see, we can touch, and feel like we have some semblance of control over. We do this so naturally, so gradually, that we just don't notice it at all. We think we're just working hard, just trying to feel loved, just trying to feel safe, just trying to make our life mean something. But before we know it, we've elevated something like half a tree to a position of something that we think can save us, when really the only thing that can do that is our true God out there. So if we take what we just read and try to boil it down to a small idea, we look at what Tim Keller said. He gave us a definition of this idea, and he says this: an idol is whatever you look to for the things that only God can give. Whatever you look to for the things that only God can give. I mean, it's not something evil. It's not something that's obviously wrong. It can be something that's genuinely good. A relationship, a career, a dream, a reputation. The problem isn't the thing itself. The problem is what you're asking it to do for you. And then John Calvin, who was a theologian back in the 1500s who was very influential, said this: "The human heart is a factory of idols. Every one of us is, from his mother's womb, expert in inventing idols." We are a factory, not a place that occasionally creates idols when things go wrong, an absolute factory. We are running constantly, we are efficient, and we are producing them by default. The combination of these two ideas can be kind of devastating. Keller gives us a definition for what an idol is, and then Calvin tells us that we are just naturals at making them. So this isn't just a default thing for ancient people who had a problem with it. This is a setting for all human hearts currently today, including mine, including yours. And that can be a lot to sit with. So how about you just give it a minute here, okay? If any of this is resonating with you or making you think a little bit differently about what an idol may be in your life, please hit that like button down below. It tells YouTube that you're enjoying this, you want to see more content like it, and it helps them show this video to more people out there, all right? Thank you. Now here's where this can get even more personal. In Ezekiel chapter 14, we see God talking to the prophet about the people of Israel, as he usually does, and he says, "The people of Israel have set up idols in their hearts and fallen into sin." Idols of the heart. Not idols in a temple, not idols on a shelf, idols in your heart. You don't need a physical object. The idol is an internal structure, something that your heart has decided it cannot live without. Another thinker named Dick Keys sharpens this idea in a way that I think is really important. He says that idols aren't random. They're not necessarily evil things. Idols are good things that we have promoted to be ultimate things. That's the part about modern idolatry that's so hard to see. You're not worshiping something evil. You're worshiping something good, just in the wrong place with the wrong weight attached to it. Your family is a good thing. Your career is a good thing. Being loved and accepted is a good thing. Feeling safe and secure is a good thing. None of these things are wrong. But when any of these things becomes the thing that you are building your life around, the thing that you would fall apart without, the thing that your sense of self-worth depends on, when that happens, it has become an idol. And here's what makes it so serious. There's a scholar out there named Greg Beale who wrote an entire book on this, and his thesis is you become what you worship. Whatever you give your heart to shapes you. It forms you. It changes what you want, what you fear, and what you're willing to do. And this is not just a spiritual idea. It is very observable. You can watch it happen in real time with your own lives and other people's lives. I mean, look at what short form content has done to the attention spans of young people. It's absolutely devastated it. Whatever we give our hearts to, whatever we're devoted to, it changes us noticeably. This harkens back to a verse that we mentioned a couple weeks ago: wherever your treasure is, there your heart will be also. I mean, this idea is all over scripture. So we've established that idols aren't just statues. They are things that you look to for things that only God can give. They're built into our hearts, not just a temple. They're made from good things, not just bad things. And we are really good at manufacturing them constantly. And the question is not whether you have idols. The question is, which ones do you have? Tim Keller, again, gives us a couple of questions that we can use to kind of do a self-diagnostic of this idea. And the first one is, what do you think about when you have nothing else to think about? Number two, what if you lost it would make you feel that life isn't worth living? I want you to sit with these questions honestly, not rush past them, not give us the Sunday school answer. I mean, whenever you're stationary, do you think about your next car project? Do you think about your next workout or what you're going to make for your next meal? Whatever it is, I think these things are worth paying attention to. I'm not going to answer those questions for you today. That's actually what the next video is for. We're going to get specific. We're going to talk about what I think the most common idols are that people carry today, and more importantly, what we can do about them. But for now, I want you to sit with those questions. Let them work on your heart for the next week. We started today by asking if idolatry is even relevant to our lives today, and I think we've come to understand that, yeah, it kind of is, and it kind of might be the most important thing. Because everything else we do kind of has its roots in it. We're taking something and elevating it to a position where it's not supposed to be, a position where we make it provide something to us that only God can provide. And I know that can feel heavy. I know some of you are probably already running through your head for a list of things that you can consider idols, and you might be convicted about it. And that's okay. That's a good sign. It means you're paying attention. The goal here isn't for you to feel guilty. The goal here is for you to feel clarity, because you cannot address something that you cannot see. So carry those questions and be honest with yourself. And in next week's video, we're going to get into some specifics. Thank you all so much for staying with me to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel so you can see when our next video about idols is coming out. And if you want to continue the discussion, comment down below with something in your life that you feel might be an idol for you. We all have them, and we all need help overcoming them. All right? I love you all. See you in the next one. Peace.